What's up guys, Nintendo64 here, and welcome back to our ranking of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate stages. Today, we are going to be ranking the stages that hail from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And my boys don't need an introduction, so let's just jump right into it. Today we start with Delfiano Plaza. I honestly think that of all the traveling stages, this one actually works pretty well, because some of the areas that you go to in Delfiano Plaza are like relatively distinct and varied, and I like that like you can still see some of the background areas of Isle Delfino, just like how you could in Sunshine. I think I'm gonna give it an A tier somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. I personally put it at the bottom of A, because like it's not the best stage to fight on, but it's pretty good. There are some annoying things about it that can hinder a fight probably. Honestly, the only like real criticism I could personally have is why the frick isn't the Pianta statue in the middle of the plaza that takes you to Bianco Hills not there on the flight? And there isn't any much else that I could say about it, so Jordan, if you would please take it away.
Wish I could take the stage away. I'm joking. Okay, basically, I don't really have any strong opinions on this one. I never played Sunshine, so I'm not going to really have any bias for it, but I feel like it's just fine. I mean, I do like how it does get, like, the platform does land in different locations. I mean, I feel like some of them, like the island, like that sand island in the middle of the waters, or the ones in, like, the middle of the plaza work fine. I mean, though I think the one with the plaza has that one spot where it could really kind of get tricky, if that makes sense. But I feel like that other spot, like, where it's, like, there's more, like, it's purely just, like, pillows and not really much fighting spots. I feel like it's not very tactical to fight on, so I guess I'll give it a C. I don't really have any strong opinions on it.
Alright, so as a Mario fan, I say this is a pretty solid stage. Yeah, it does travel places a few times, but it does look really cool with how they got every single part of the Piana Village. Or not Piana Village, Isle Delfino from Mario Sunshine, and all the places that it has, from the west side, the east side, the center of the town. And so yeah, it's a pretty solid stage, and I actually really enjoy playing on it. I mean, yeah, there are a few things annoying about fighting on, especially when it travels if you're like at the bottom. If you have like a character that has a bad recovery, and it can be kind of annoying to deal with, but like I said, it's really a solid stage overall. I actually really enjoy it. It's not the best stage ever, but I still like it. So I'll give it an A tier. It's a solid A.
Yeah, this stage is pretty good, and I quite like it. The main platform is really sized well. Is it angled on the edges, or are those just the other platforms that are next to it?
What other platforms?
Like, when it's in the air, aren't there, like, other platforms next to the main one?
Not next to the main one, but, like, hovering above it in, like, different layouts.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those are pretty good. I like how it's one of those stages where you can recover through it, so if you're stuck underneath, you can still get back up to the stage. I feel like the areas it travels to, while the small platforms aren't the greatest for fighting, the fact that there's water underneath that lets you save yourself is nice, so I think A tier is good for this stage.
I'll put it average, the lower middle A tier then. We now move on to another infamous stage for Smash Bros. This is Mushroomy Kingdom, a desertified remake of 1-1 from Super Mario Bros. Even despite the fact that it's 1-1 or 1-1, and it's just the stage is like in an abandoned wasteland, it's desert, I think I can't give it anything other than a C. I'd personally put it directly underneath the Mushroom Kingdom stage from Smash 64. I think the one thing that probably could make it a better stage for Smash Ultimate is if they actually kept the 1-2 rendition that they also had in Brawl, but unfortunately that 1-2 rendition has not stuck around with Mushroom Kingdom in Smash 3DS or Smash Ultimate, which for 3DS it's understandable, for Ultimate it sucks. I don't really have anything else to say for the stage itself. However, I can say that when me, Michael, and Prism were playing on the stage on our own free time, we were playing randoms, for the record. We managed to get to the end of the stage, and Michael, who was playing as Sheik, somehow managed to freaking clip through the staircase and the entire stage and lose a stock from that. That's not going to be a point against the stage. I just wanted to mention that because, yeah, it's just really, really funny.
It was funny. You know, that happened to me as well when I was playing Mario Sunshine in the Mario Marathon, where I just fell through for no reason.
Oh, yeah, that's just a thing that can happen in Sunshine, in random places, but that's besides that point, though. I just wanted to bring that up because it's funny.
No, it is.
Yeah. But yeah, don't have anything else to say beyond that, so.
I like this one quite a bit. I mean, I do find it interesting for them to kind of make it. I believe, isn't this mostly a Smash original stage? Like, yes, I know it is based off the stage from Mario Bros, but is this mainly just original from the fact that they made it a desert?
Technically, it's original, like the idea, but the actual stage itself is not.
Okay, so technically, so Smash original. Anyway, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I mean, I do like the idea of just playing through a Mario stage and like you can even hit the blocks to get the items out. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know there is definitely some spots where it could really mess up when you're trying to launch people, since again there's so many like blocks and different like pipe and such and other things in the way that could just mess you up. Especially since I think there's always just sometimes where you just get stuck around the edges and you're kind of completely screwed, or sometimes you almost have someone KO'd, but that block's literally the only thing that's safe from getting completely KO'd. Other than that, honestly, I give it a B tier. Like, not terrible, not like a bad stage by any means, just, I don't know, just good. That's all I can say.
I'm not much of a fan of this stage. It's just, first of all, why is it a damn desert from 1-1? I mean, I know that sounds like a bad critique, but it's just, really? Like, you know me, I'm not a fan of desert levels, like, in general. If you, like, listen to, like, my complaints about it in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and upcoming Super Mario Galaxy video stuff in the future, probably by the time this video is uploaded.
Probably.
I mean, yeah, the idea sounds cool. Like, I mean, it is like the first level that was ever created from Mario. Well, I mean, for the original Super Mario Brothers. So I guess it's that, but it's just kind of boring, and it's also an auto scroll, which I mean makes sense because it's a whole level. But I also feel like it's not really necessary for it to be an auto scroll. I mean, there are other stages where it feels like it's meant for auto scroll. This stage is definitely not one of them. So overall, well, it has an interesting idea and also feels like more nostalgia stuff. I don't have much to say about it. It's just pretty forgettable, really boring. So I'll put it in low C tier.
Yeah, the stage is alright. I don't know. And I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Why is it in the desert? Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. Fighting on it is actually okay. It's just, I feel like it scrolls a little too fast to have an actual fight on. I don't know. I kind of like this one. I think C is good.
We'll just keep it below Mushroom Kingdom to average it. Alright, now we move on to what was originally known as Mario Circuit, is now correctly labeled as Figure 8 Circuit. For our first Mario Kart stage in Smash Bros., and first of only two, I should say, I don't know how to feel about it. I think aesthetically it's nice. Like, it definitely captures that Mario, like, energy, especially given that, like, it kind of does feel like a Mario Kart DS, like, location, I guess. I feel like kind of similar to Rainbow Ride last time. I do have a slightly salty taste in my mouth that it is a remake of Figure 8 Circuit specifically, which is, like, probably one of, if not the worst stage in Mario Kart DS for simply being just boring. At least of the Nitro tracks, maybe not so much the whole game. At the very least, though, I think I would rather play a Mario Kart race on this version of Figure 8 Circuit than the actual Figure 8 Circuit in Mario Kart DS. I think it's funny that Shy Guys are just racing around the whole track, which I think that idea is cool in and of itself, because that's a reference to the fact that in Mario Kart DS's like local multiplayer or whatever, the characters that you play as, if you're not the host or whatever, is Shy Guy exclusively, and is like different color variations. So that's kind of cool, that the idea of like 8 people are together playing a local game of Mario Kart DS and so everybody's Shy Guy. But they are kind of annoying to when they do show up, but at the very least, if you're paying attention to the minimap in the background, you at least know when they're coming. In addition to the minimap, like, you can like see them coming in the background, as well as you get an indicator for when they're coming from the ramp side. So that's nice. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say. I think it's alright. It's definitely not like terrible by any means. I think I'd put it lower B. Like the second lowest B that we have.
Yes, again, I don't really have many opinions so far. I mean, I do like how you can knock the Shy Guys off. I think that is pretty funny. And although I do frankly sometimes think they can be used to your advantage a bit too much, like one of the examples being I did learn you could even hit people from the side with them.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, I know it's not easily timed all the time, but I just thought it'd be worth noting. So, I mean, I guess another thing though, although I feel like the idea of having Shy Guys race instead of actual racers, honestly, it would have been it's kind of a missed opportunity to actually have like Mii's maybe in place. I thought that maybe that could have been something they could have done, but I'm not mad with what they went, so I'll give it a B tier.
Alright, so two things before Michael goes. One is something that I completely forgot, is something that like does hold the stage back for me, is the fact that the stage is a walk-off. And for this stage, it's very much easy to abuse the walk-off blast zones there. I completely forgot that was one of the things that was holding the stage back for me. But the other thing adding to Jordan's point about the Mii's thing, I totally understand that like it would have been nice to like have Mii's instead of Shy Guys. But given that Mii's weren't exactly in Mario Kart DS, which I think was the sole like reference they were going for here, I at least understand the reason to go with Shy Guys and not the Mii's, even though Mii's did exist by the time Brawl released. So anyway, go ahead, Michael.
I actually like this stage. It's, in my opinion, the most underrated stage we have ranked so far. Yeah, admittedly, the Shy Guys can get annoying, and you can easily abuse the blast zones, like Alex says. But I don't know. I just always like fighting this stage. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because you can fight like next to the tracks, and when the Shy Guys are not in the area, and then when you do see them, you can easily just like get out of the way and then continue fighting on and stuff over and over again. And even the ramp can also kind of help you with some things. I'm not saying everything, but some. If you like damage or something, and then you could like go to the other side and get away from like a stronger attack or an OP attack, like Mr. Gamer Watch as an example. Yeah, I liked the stage when I was younger. It was actually one of those stages I played at when I was at my friend Prism's house a long time ago, and I always thought that was fun. And this is also the stage that me and Alex played in that Super Smash Bros. 4 video that we just tried to beat. We were playing 2 players, and then we were trying to beat like 6, 8, like the max computer modes or something like that.
Yeah, this is the stage that we won on.
It was that we're trying to if we win, the video ends, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
we just abused the heck out of that because that's the only way we're gonna win. Because we played like 8 battles before we finally got it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put it. It's not it may not be the best stage on the list or in Smash in general. I'm going to put it in lower A tier.
Yeah, I like the stage too. I like how the Shy Guys come in and can hit you. The layout's actually pretty good. I don't know, just A.
Jordan, what was your ranking for this? I forgot.
B.
B, okay. I'll keep it lower B. I think I'll put it below the... lower A, excuse me. I'll put it below the Pokemon stages in A, just to satisfy. Alright, now we move on to WarioWare Inc., which, I'll be honest, this is going to be one of the few stages that I'm going to personally put in S tier. Because, here's the thing. The actual stage itself is kind of small, but the main point of WarioWare Inc. is microgames. And in Smash Bros., we are gifted with microgames. Specifically ones from, I believe, the first WarioWare and Touched. And the microgames that we do have are honestly like pretty solid. They're like somewhat unique. Like there's a handful of micro games that we have here. Some are a little bit similar to others, but also I think it's really cool that if you win a micro game, you're gifted with some enhancement like healing, bigger metal. It's all cool stuff, and like I definitely think like it's probably not like practical for fighting on, but this is one of the only stages that I think I don't really care about that. So yeah, S tier. I just really like it. Probably one of my favorite stages in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to give it an S tier as well, mainly because of its gimmick. Like, although some critics, one, yeah, the stage is a bit small, and it does also have the walk-off that you can just throw people off the edge. Okay, on one hand, I feel like the rewards from the mini-games can be kind of broken, since sometimes other players will get them while some players won't, and depending on what the power is, that could either be very helpful or very useful, which I guess could be kind of balancing depending on whenever. But like, the thing is, if it's easy enough to where everyone gets it, it doesn't really change the outcomes of the fight, at least in my opinion. Another thing, I feel like that sometimes they can be relied on a bit too much, like, depending on the clip or not. I think I had one moment where we were both standing still for like whatever the game was, and then I kind of just snuck him with a smash attack to finish him off. Like, I feel like it can kind of leave you kind of depending on the too much sometimes, but I don't know. Other than that, I do feel like this stage is worthy of the S rank.
Okay, this is probably going to become a big shock to everyone, but I actually don't like this stage. Oh, okay, hold on. Before you guys say anything, I don't think this stage is bad, but the reason why I don't like this stage, compared to what some of you said, is that I feel like every single time I play this stage, I always get bad luck on this stage. Like, no matter what I do. Like, either I lose stocks early and then just give up on it, or the stage is just like too small for me and for my liking. I don't know. I just feel like I just get bullied on this stage like all the time, and it just like annoys the hell out of me. Now, I will admit the Wario like wear game stuff is actually pretty fun. Yeah, some are broken as hell, but still, like, not that bad. But because the stage is too small, and I just feel like I just get cursed. Like I said, this is probably my most cursed stage ever for me in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't think it's bad. Like, you know what I mean. Like, as much as I like crap on it, I can't like give it an F, D, or even a C tier. So, as much as I want to give it an S tier because I know it's a good stage, I just can't give S tier. So I'm gonna put it in the top of A tier. I'm sorry that comes so shocking, but I like I said, if this stage was just so cursed to me or hates me, I would have given it an S tier.
I feel like this is one of the best Smash stages, honestly. The gimmick is cool. The stage itself is just well designed. While it starts out small, it shifts to microgames so often that you don't really have to worry about the stage being small. The only thing that sucks is it is kind of luck-based about what ability you get. Either you get something good or you just get screwed. But yeah, I think S is fitting for this stage.
And you know what?
Like me overall.
Yeah, and even despite Michael like putting it at top of A, which I would understand if you like in your heart you would put it somewhere else completely. Like, I still think this stage probably deserves the S rank.
You know, it does, but I just, like I said, I know, like, I want to give it an S tier, but I just can't.
Yeah, but thankfully for us, it's staying there for the average. And so
I'm actually glad that happened.
Yeah, and now we move on to a stage that is objectively more boring. This is Bridge of Eldin. And I'm saying it's boring in the fact that it's literally just a flat rectangle that stretches the entire stage, and because of that, it's also a walk-off. I think one of the main positives I can give it is that the aesthetic is nice. I think the sunset is pretty cool, especially seeing Hyrule Castle in the background. But I can't bring myself to put it in anywhere that isn't higher than B for this stage. The main gimmick is that after a certain amount of time that I don't remember off the top of my head, the dude on the giant pig, Prism would know the name more than I would, comes to the stage to drop a bomb to explode the middle part to separate the stage into two. Then after a certain amount of time, the stage fixes itself, and then the cycle repeats. That's literally the gimmick. Which I think, I would assume that that is like a pivotal, well, maybe not pivotal, like some sort of story beat that happens in Twilight Princess. But even then, like, it's still just a bomb gets dropped on the bridge while the pig dude can come in and attack you, which I don't know exactly if it like does like a ton of damage and knockback or what, but it's not really enough to save the stage because it's still just kind of boring to me. So I think I'll probably put it like in the middle of B. I'll put it below Peach's Castle 64 because I think some of the stages that are above that I would rather play than Bridge of Eldin.
Honestly, I do kind of like this stage a bit more. Honestly, like, yes, I know it's a very simple kind of concept, just bridge that goes across, then gets blown up halfway. But I don't know, I just like it enough. Yeah, I guess really no other opinions. I mean, other than yes, again, it's another side scroller thing that can be an issue. But other than that, I give it a B.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I thought I was unmuted. But anyway, I don't really know how I really feel about the stage because I kind of agree with both Alex and Jordan about the stage at the same time. Because I agree with Alex because, yes, this stage is extremely boring and because there's like literally nothing interesting going on except for like the bridge blowing up like over and over again in the middle. So you have two sides to fight on, but it's also a walk-off stage, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just like annoying that people could, like in the Mario Kart stage, can you abuse the hell out of the blast zone and stuff. But I also agree with Jordan. It's kind of interesting to fight on, but not like the best. So I don't know if I want to give it a C tier, a high C tier or a low B tier. Oh god, it's just choices. I think for now I'm gonna give it a high C tier, but it could change over time in the future. And I still like stuck in the middle of that.
I quite like the stage. Yeah, it's just a big rectangle, but I mean, aren't big rectangles like the best platforms to fight on? I don't know. I feel like this stage, while it's big, it's quite fun to fight on, and I like how the stage. Well, usually I don't like stages that split. The gap is small enough to cross over, so it's not really an issue. I think A is good for this one.
Alright, his Zelda bias is kicking in. I see how it is.
I mean, it's not that. It's just a good stage. If it was themed after anything else, I'd say the same things.
I don't know, man. Like, I'd honestly rather play on a battlefield than a giant rectangle like this. Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
But for your guys' sake, I'll put it. Actually, I don't know. I'll just leave it where it is right now. Now, we have one of my least, if not the least, favorite stage for me in all of Smash Bros. This is Norfair. I hate Norfair with a no pun intended, a burning passion. I have never ever had fun on this stage. I cannot bring myself to like have any sort of fun on this stage. I have two main issues with it. For one, the platforms that are on the left and right side are semi-solid, which means that you can jump from below them, but you can also fall through them if you push down while standing on them. So if you're an absolute idiot and is not paying attention and you accidentally do that and maybe like trying to do like a dash dance, or not dash dance, like whatever, the wave dash or something that was a thing in Melee, which is kind of here in Ultimate. And if you're not paying attention and you realize too late that you're falling to your death, you could very well be screwed unless the lava's coming up to you. Which is the other thing. None of the lava set pieces are any fun to me. Maybe aside from the main lava that rises from the bottom of the stage, akin to Brinstar. But I'd rather deal with the lava gimmick of Brinstar than Norfair because the tiny lava waves or sprinkles or whatever that come from the background, like sometimes they're like quote unquote enjoyable to run away from when they come up, but like in the one time that they popped up and I was like very close to them, I somehow got lucky and avoided them. But there's also a giant wall of lava that can come in from the left or right side, and you have to be careful of that. Or a giant wave of lava from the background can come up, and you have to get yourself in a dome that pops up before the lava comes and kills you. And to be honest, I feel like even when it does pop up, whenever I'm fighting like a CPU or something, I don't remember for when we were fighting, but I feel like I'm never able to like get in there and stay there for the whole time that the lava comes in. And like sometimes I feel like when like the thing is like finicky in and of itself, and that it doesn't let me get in there, so to speak. I'm sorry, like I cannot like fathom, well maybe I can't fathom because these are my friends, but like anybody who like even like remotely enjoys a stage like this, even despite it being solely a gimmick and not a serious place to fight, like I still don't understand how anybody would have fun here. So I'm sorry, like this is going at the bottom of F tier, probably for the whole, like for my whole entire ranking if it was just my own.
Before you start blabbing out at me, let me finish first. Because, okay, honestly, this is going to sound like a complete opposite, kind of funnily, but I don't care. I like this stage. I like its gimmick. Okay, like, I know the gimmick can be kind of chaotic, but honestly, that's just what I kind of like about it. Like, okay, yes, I know I shame to gimmick some other stages for some flaws and such, but I don't know, this one's purely just chaotic, and I just like it for that. Like especially for like, okay, yes, the part where like you have like a bunch of lava covers the screen, it is always kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know how to describe it, but just you kind of exhilarating to try to get into the capsule before anybody else does, and also it's just kind of funny to knock people out of it if they try to get in, but that's just my evil side. But I mean, I guess I do kind of wish the lava didn't do as much damage as it did, so I don't know. I know I'm definitely the odd one out when I say this, but I definitely tend to like this stage. Either top B or bottom A for me.
Okay, this stage is easily going to F tier because, like Alex says, I hate this stage a lot. It's like one of the worst stages to fight on, and the fire can get really annoying, especially if you have like high damage on it. It can like kill you like instantly, or it can even kill you when you just trying to like fight someone and then you accidentally get caught in it, and oh no, you lost the stock in like the first 5 seconds of the match. Now, I don't know if this stage or the other lava stages is actually worse. It's a hard decision, but I can see the argument with both of them being worse. But if I had to choose between the stage of what I'd rather fight on, I probably would rather fight on this stage than the other one, but not saying much. Like, I still hate this stage a lot. Like I said, easily going F tier, one of the worst stages ever created. But there's also another stage later on that it might be just as bad, if not worse, than both of the stages. A little spoilers, I won't say which one it is, but I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about. This stage right here, like I said in the last lava one, which I forget the name of, can go burn in hell for all I care.
Honestly, I'm more with Jordan on this stage than with you guys. I feel like this stage is actually can be quite fun to fight on. If like the right thing is happening, but for like a serious fight, it's not very good. But if you're just trying to have fun, it is very chaotic. Although, yeah, the lava does too much damage, and I wish there was more than one. Like the big lava wave that comes, I wish there was 2 pods you can hide in, because I don't think I've ever gotten in that pod and survived. But I think A is actually good for this one.
I can't freaking believe that we were doing this.
Hey, you have your opinions and we have ours.
I'm sorry, but I'd rather play on Great Cave Offensive than this garbage.
Alex,
Yeah,
we
same here.
listen and we don't judge.
Well, this time I'm judging. Okay, I freaking hate this stage. This is like one of the stages that I'm passionate about that I hate. Okay, and because like maybe I'm a hypocrite because my type of chaos is not for this stage. I'd rather have chaos from like any other stage that isn't Norfair.
Okay, so
and Jordan, I also like to point out that remember what in the last tier list where I criticized heavily on Peach's Castle or Mario, whatever that Mario Castle thing was, or Peach's Castle from Melee, and yet you guys judged me on that one for giving a low tier, but apparently it's not okay to judge people here when they have their own opinions. Again, I'm just mentioning it. I'm not trying to like sound rude or anything.
Well, you guys are freaking lucky that the average for this stupid stage is staying in C tier. Anyway, now we move on to a stage that I would heavily rather play than this chaotic garbage is Friggin' Orphean. But to be honest, I think I'm going to put it directly above its placement in C tier. It is super damn forgettable. Much like some of the Melee stages, this is the first time that we're seeing the stage since Brawl. And I don't know a single person that like remotely remembers this stage outside of people that have like played the Metroid Prime games or whatever. But like anyway, the main stage gimmick here is that there are platforms that can show up on the left and right side sometimes for both sides of the stage. Because the actual main gimmick, I probably should have said first, is that the stage flips. And to some people that might seem like a heart attack, but when I say the stage flips, I don't mean the screen flips. I mean the actual stage itself flips. And that's not exactly like that's far from the worst stage gimmick to be honest. I don't think it needs to be like executed like better. I'd hardly say it's like could be executed worse. Like I think this execution is like perfectly fine. Like the main problem with it is that it's just forgettable. Like the only thing I can like really like think of is, and it's only because like we're looking at the thumbnail right now for this tier list, even though you guys are seeing the B-roll, is that the Parasite Queen, I believe that's what it's called, is just hanging out in a giant tube in the background, and I believe that's why the stage flips sometimes. Which also brings me to something I forgot, is that something else that can happen for the stage is that not the whole screen, but just the background can go completely dark for some reason. Which I would guess that's probably something that happens in Metroid Prime or Prime 2 or whichever Metroid Prime that this comes from. But I don't know. I can't bring myself to like put it anywhere again above C tier because it's very much forgettable. And I'm sorry to any like Metroid Prime fans that do like this stage. Like this ain't a diss against Metroid Prime because I'm especially like glad for Metroid Prime 4 finally coming out soon. That's a complete side tangent, so yeah, just C tier. I'm really hoping that it stays above freaking Norfair at least.
Honestly, I probably have to give it a C tier as well. Not really too strong on it. I mean, I feel like this stage does do a whole like change up the stage without actually changing the stage kind of gimmick better than the other stage. Although instead of it just flipping the platform you're on, it flips the whole stage upside down. Although, again, not too strong in it since it doesn't change it that much. Although, okay, I never played Metroid for the record, but I do kind of like the background since it does kind of give me like alien encounter vibes. But I don't know. Other than that, I just give it a C tier. Not too strong on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a C tier as well. If I was a Metroid fan, because I know a lot of Metro fans really like this stage, I would have definitely ranked it higher, like probably A tier at least. But since I never play a single, well, actually, I kind of played the original, but not much. But other than that, I never really played Metroid at all. So, and this stage is honestly kind of forgettable to me. I mean, the stage does flip, but unlike the one in the Spirit mode, it doesn't. The controls do not flip as well, which I actually appreciate a lot better. So, yeah, not much to really say about this stage. It's just kind of boring to me, and I don't really gonna remember for a while. So, a C tier.
Yeah, this stage is kind of just forgettable. It's alright, but I don't know. It's nothing special. Yeah, the stage flips upside down, but it's basically the exact same stage on both sides. So, yeah, C. It's alright to fight on, but it's just so forgettable. And this is coming from someone who played Metroid Prime and liked it.
Well, first of all, I didn't actually know that, but second of all, unanimous decision for the first time in this video. That's crazy.
Finally, something we agree on.
Now we move on to, I believe this is the stage that's referred to as Yoshi's Island in Smash Ultimate here. And honestly, I think I'm putting it like somewhere next to the Yoshi Story stage from Melee, because the idea is basically like, or the stage layout is basically the same, even down to like the platforms from whatever the goo guys that show up from time to time. I think in terms of like the floating platforms, I think I'd rather the battlefield platforms over the one single platform, which by the way can tilt a little bit for some reason. Honestly, I think the only thing that's really like carrying this stage is its aesthetics, because it's basically like an HDified version of Yoshi's Island's graphics. On top of the fact that for some reason this stage like transfers between the 4 seasons, which for the music is interesting because they actually do have 2 different versions of the Yoshi's Island athletic theme. One is like more akin to the original, while also for some reason having giant Baby Bowser's boss theme in the remix, and then the fall winter theme having just being like more relaxing, chill, I guess. I don't know, but that's not again, as we said before, music's not really a factor when it comes to the ranking. It's just something I wanted to point out here. I don't know, this even despite the fact that I've played this stage a handful of times because of its existence in Smash 3DS, I don't often see myself remembering this stage that much sometimes, so I don't think I can put any other place besides C directly above its Melee predecessor, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I do kind of forget this stage sometimes, considering Sensei. I'm pretty sure there's already like 3 Yoshi stages in Smash, at least I think. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not really too strong in this, although I can't tell, is it supposed to be based off like the original Yoshi's Island, or is it like
the original Yoshi's Island? Yes. The other 2 are based on Yoshi's Story specifically. This one's Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I guess not really any strong opinions on it. I'd say bottom of C tier for me. Not that it's bad, just not one I play.
Yeah, this is probably a C tier for me as well. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as the N64 Yoshi's Island, but it's like still like pretty forgettable. It's just like not memorable. It's just kind of small, and I don't really have much to say on it. I just kind of forgot it even exists. Like, yeah, I do prefer the N64 version over this one. I like I said, I just have nothing to say on it. Just C tier.
Yeah, pretty much what you guys said. Forgettable. Yeah, C tier.
All right. Well, I'll just leave it directly above the Super Happy Tree for the time being. All right. Now we have the Halberd, what is basically a reimagining of the intro cutscene to Revenge of Meta Knight from Kirby Superstar. And I might have a little bit of Kirby bias here showing, despite the fact that I haven't really played that much of Revenge of Meta Knight, because I do have access to Superstar on Nintendo Switch Online, obviously. And on top of that, I have played it on the Ultra remake on DS as well. But even despite that, before I even like played Superstar, I always found this stage really, really cool, especially because, again, not factoring, but the remix music for Meta Knight's Revenge, as they labeled it, which is basically a combination of both themes that play when on the Halberd during that mode. Another one of my favorites to come from Smash Bros. As for the stage itself, first and foremost, I think it's especially cool, like the redesign of the Halberd that we got in Smash Brawl, because that design of the Halberd actually carried over to the later games, much like some other Kirby-related stuff in Smash Bros., which I think is really, really cool, that the entire Halberd design from Smash carried over to Kirby. And not to diss on the old Halberd design, but I just think that like this newer version is like significantly more like sleeker and stuff, which is cool. There are some certain areas of the Halberd that you do fight on. Primarily, I believe, well, it's really only like one area I remember in particular, and that's where you fight in front of the combo cannon or whatever, and the claw. which they can be annoying, which is probably like what drags this thing down a little bit. But given that those have been a part of the Halberd since Kirby Superstar, like, it's not surprising to me that Sakurai brought them back, especially since I believe he worked on Kirby Superstar. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Yeah, I think I'll keep it in A tier.
Well, yeah, honestly, I do tend to like this stage quite a bit, although frankly I do tend to forget about it sometimes. But no, I do like the idea of actually fighting on the Halberd itself, because frankly I actually do think the Halberd is probably one of the coolest things in the Kirby series, in my opinion, at least from what I have seen.
Yeah.
I do also like when you go onto it, you have like both, like, you do actually like have to worry about some of its weapons going up, especially since also I feel like they definitely don't interfere with the fight as much compared to some other gimmicks, and since it does only have it for that one spot, at least I think. But other than that, I say it's a pretty solid stage, so I'm gonna give it an A tier. Definitely an underrated stage in my opinion.
I don't know how I feel about this stage. It's one of the stages I completely forgot even exists. I mean, yeah, the Kirby stuff I guess is fine, especially if you're a fan of Kirby, but I don't know. I just don't remember the stage really even existing. I don't really have much to say on it. Again, I just forgot it even exists, so I'm just gonna put it in C tier and move on.
This is a pretty cool stage. I like how you start on the elevator, then land on the ship itself. Plus, it just looks cool to fight on. So, probably A.
I think I'll keep it at the placement I originally had it, between Hyrule Castle and Delphine Plaza. Alright, now we move on to Lilac Cruise. And honestly, I don't really know what to make of this stage, because even though I have played it a handful of times, just like Yoshi's Island, I sometimes forget that Lilac Cruise exists. I feel like only times I remember this stage exists are when I'm like thinking about Star Fox related stuff in Smash Bros. Because the platform is literally just like it's basically flat. Like the main platform's like basically flat, but it's like very, very slightly tilted on both ends. And there's 3 platforms at basically the same elevation, although again tilted on the platforms on the end. And then the stage itself, the whole thing can rotate sometimes. Or not rotate, excuse me, tilt. I don't know, I tend to forget the stage exists. There are R-Wings that show up in the background. I want to say that they can hinder the fights sometimes, unlike in Dumb Stinky Venom. I'm trying to remember from the B-roll, because I feel like someone yelled about it after it happened. I don't know. Bottom of the line is we can at least see R-Wings here in the thumbnail in the tier list itself. So R-Wings do show up, but I don't know, I can't really bring myself to like remember this stage that much. So I don't know, somewhere in C tier. I could really care less about where in C tier it would be. Probably like lower, I guess.
I don't really like this stage as much. Like, I think mainly just because, like, I mean, I feel like the platform does work fine, just one of my problems is that it's slightly, like, I feel like it is slightly sloped a bit, so I feel like, I'm pretty sure there has been some times where I try to launch people and they don't fully launch just because they barely clip on the edge of that. I don't know, I feel like it does kind of also get outclassed by some of the other stages. Not really much opinion. Honestly, I'd probably give this one honestly, I'm giving it a D tier. Not really strong in it, but I don't think we really needed it.
This is the 3rd C tier that I'm going to give a stage in a row. And this is also the 3rd stage in a row that I say is extremely forgettable. Because this is another stage that I completely forgot even exists. Because, oh my god, I just don't remember this stage. Okay, I don't really have much to say on it. It's just kind of boring. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give it a C tier and just move on, just like I said last time.
Yeah, I honestly forgot the stage existed. It's honestly just boring, like just a platform in space. I don't know. Yeah, I'd put this one in D.
I'll put it at bottom of C then.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can someone does anyone remember what rank I personally gave to Pokemon Stadium 1 last time?
I think it was like B tier, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly.
I think that probably is the correct information. The reason I asked because personally, I would put Pokemon Stadium directly next to it in my own ranking, but knowing where it probably is going to go, I'm just going to put it in this spot that you guys can't see, but these guys can. Because, like, there literally is, like, in the stage itself, there's literally not much difference between the two, aside from the aesthetic, until you get to the stage transformations, which, if memory serves, which right now is blanking a lot, I believe there's a flying one. I know that because we did a quiz, or I did a quiz where I had that as the bonus point for that stage. There's electric ? And then there's ground or rock, one of the two, whichever is differentiating between from the first one. And then I don't remember what the last stage hazard, but bottom of the line is that it's 4 hazards that can happen into the stage again, which is pretty interesting, and I'm glad it's actually like 4 unique different type of hazards compared to the first Pokemon Stadium. Again, if it was my personal ranking, I would put it directly next to Pokemon Stadium 1 in B tier, but I think where I'm keeping it right now, I'm honestly hoping stays that way, just because it's literally the sequel to the first Pokemon Stadium. So
Honestly, I give this an A tier, the same I gave for the first Pokemon Stadium, since it's basically the same gimmick, just introducing the other types, which, although some of them may be a bit more of a hindrance than the others, I still really like the concept. I forgot, did this one introduce the ice stage, or was that the previous one?
I was drawing a blank on that. I don't think I said that out loud, but I think ice might have been the one I was like thinking of. That was the
because
other.
I'm pretty sure the types on this one was electric, ground, flying, I think, and I think it was ice. It's basically the same, but what I was gonna say in terms of the ice stage, I do like how, like, if you alter the camera, you can look inside and there's like a cat picture in there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that Easter egg.
Funny Easter egg. Again, that's not gonna really alter things. I just thought that was funny, but other than that, still definitely A tier, since even though it may be worse, it is still the same kind of gimmick, and I like it for that. So yeah, that's what I think.
I think this is a pretty solid stage. I actually think I like it better than the first one. I think it feels like a bigger stadium stage than the first one, which I think I prefer a little bit that one more. And I do like the stuff in the background of like all the characters or who's fighting and all stuff and what percentage damage it has and all that stuff. And I think it's just a fun, solid way to start fighting. Now, I'm determined if I want to give it low A or top tier, because it's not the best stage, but I still like it a lot. I think I'll put it in low A tier.
I mean, it's just Pokemon Stadium, but more. So I'd put it just in A right next to the other Pokemon Stadium.
Alright, we're leaving it as is. Not quite a unanimous decision, but close enough. But yeah, actually, before we move on, that was the thing I was saying, that like, the place that I did put it when I plopped it down was directly next to the first Pokemon Stadium, because I knew that's where it was gonna be, because it's literally the same stage but with different hazards and a different aesthetic. But yeah, again, if it was my tier list, I'd still put it directly next to the first Pokemon Stadium, but in B tier or whatever I put it. Anyway, we now have Port Town Aerodive. And to be honest, much like some of the other stages here, this is one that like I don't like. I have played it on it a handful of times, especially more than Lilac Cruise and Yoshi's Island, but I still sometimes like tend to forget about it, which is not exactly the fault of the stage, because there are like some interesting ideas here. I think the stage might be ported / remade from F-Zero GX. Honestly, like, the only things I can, like, really remember from the stage are the giant thing with, like, engine turbine things on the left and right side that you can fly past, because it looks like a face sometimes. And also there's a giant Rob somewhere in the track as well. The F-Zero machines that can show up to kill you, like, I'm at least glad that like this stage is basically like the same idea as Mute City from Melee, but just a different location entirely. So the F-Zero machines like coming in to kill you is still interesting enough. I think some of the a thing that can hold the stage back is that I believe in some areas there are gaps that you can fall into. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are like in at least one area of the track there's a gap that you can fall into, which it's not going to matter to the F-Zero machines that are flying by because they would just ignore it completely. But for fighting and you just like completely miss that you fell in that gap, that could be a hindrance. I don't know, I just tend to forget this stage sometimes. Like, maybe not so much as Yoshi's Island and Lilac Cruise, but I think I'd still leave it somewhere in C tier. I think I'll put it at the top of C tier.
I'd say it's kind of just another Mario Kart stage, but I'd say it's a bit more interesting. I mean, I do like how now you actually have to be a bit more wary of the cars now since, well, they're moving at like almost light speed. It is also kind of satisfying, like whenever the platform is going up against walls, it's always kind of funny to try and throw people into them. I know it's kind of brutal, but I just thought that was worth mentioning, so, I give it a B tier.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the stage. I think it's a pretty solid stage. You do have to be a little more aware about the cars going by, like Jordan said, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's still, like, some things I like about it, so, yeah, I'm gonna give it a B tier.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good stage that's pretty forgettable. The layout's cool. I like how it, when it shifts, there are holes in the ground, so you have to be careful. The cars are actually dangerous in this one, so you do have to watch out. But yeah, I think B fits well.
Alright. I'm putting it above Bridge of Eldon. Honestly, thinking about it more, I think I'd rather play on Port Down Aerodive than Bridge of Eldon. Alright, now we have Castle Siege. I don't know what to make of it again. I think this is probably, like, of the forgettable stages from Brawl, this is probably the one I've, like, played the most. I'm not so sure if it was by my choice, but I can at least say that, like, the primary music that, like, came with the stage has, like, grown on me a lot more over the years. Especially given that, that music was actually, like, done by the same orchestra, I guess you want to call it, that did the main theme for Smash Brawl. Not the main menu version, but the title theme version, or whatever, the intro version, if you will. So that's cool. The stage transforming into a inside castle area, and then to like a volcano lava area is interesting, I guess. Although there are some like annoyances that can be had with all three stages that transform into one another. The main one that you start on can be a little bit on the smaller side. Like I think that first area is really meant for 2, maybe 3 players. The inside area is meant for 4 or more players, even despite the fact that it's a walk-off stage again, and also the fact that you can break the statues and the platforms that they have for some reason. And then the final area is basically a Final Destination platform that I think is like on a tilting. It's a rock, but I think it's on a tilting one. So the stage itself, I think, tilts. I don't know. I feel like if any of us liked Fire Emblem more, we probably would like put the stage maybe a little bit higher. But I feel like I have to like put it top of C, maybe lower B. I don't know. I don't have much else to say on it otherwise.
I do like its concept of like changing the stage completely. Like I don't know if I did shame that before or not, but I mean I don't think the gimmick is bad. Just I do like it when stages try to do something that isn't just doing that. But I do feel like this one does it in an interesting way. Although I do feel like some sections are better than others. Like okay, the first section I feel like it's fine. I mean, although frankly it is a little small, but I feel like it works fine. The second one, I don't know, not as much because again it's a bit more closed. It's another walk-off stage thing, and also again like the slope platforms on top could definitely mess you up in some cases. And the third one, I don't know, not that interesting. It's literally like if some of these lava stages and the frickin' that one gimmick in the Mario Wii and Mario U series actually just merged. I'd say I give it a C tier. It's not bad, but not very good in my books either.
Okay, so this is not the best stage, but I don't think it's really like bad. It is a little bit like not that interesting, but I honestly don't really mind it too much. I kind of find it fun, and also a fun fact: I believe this was one of the stages that was in my Smash Bros. Brawl video. One of the stages. I think there's like two other stages that was also on there as well during that time. So just wanted to point that out. Anyway, back to how I feel about it. Yeah, it is kind of small, but I don't know. I always enjoy fighting on this stage every time I play it. But like you guys said, it's really not that memorable, and I wouldn't. And it's probably going to be one of those stages I'll forget about unless it pops up that we fight on. So I'm going to give it a low B tier because I don't think it's just as forgettable as some of the other C tiers that I give in this section, but not a good one either.
What stage are we talking about again?
Castle Siege.
Oh, I don't know. C, it's alright.
Yeah, that was definitely some Mario Kart Tour City track energy I just got from you, Prism. I think Castle Siege stays in the average here at the top of C. That is the halfway mark of the video. So now let's move on to Distant Planet. Much like other stages in Brawl, I think this is another one that I've played a handful of times on, but it's still just very much forgettable. Because all it is literally just a thin platform that makes up most of the like the middle of the stage, I guess. Then you have a couple of leaf platforms above it, then a giant slope on the left, and then a bulb orb on the right that can show up sometimes. Which I believe if you get snacked on by the bulb orb, you're pretty much dead. I don't think there's a way of escaping. And also, every once in a while, there's some rain that can show up. The only thing that really affects is the slope because it brings water down there. And that's literally all there is to this stage. It's kind of forgettable. I'm personally gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. I really don't have that much to say on it.
On one hand, I do kind of like the gimmicks in this one. I like how the rain can come in and sweep you off the edge, and I do also like how that mushroom thing on the side can come and eat you. I do feel like it is kind of funny to see that, although it doesn't happen often. But other hand, kind of a very basic stage. I mean, especially since again the slope on the side can kind of mess you up if you're if you're trying to watch people. I know I keep saying that, but that's just how I feel about some of these stages that have that. So I don't think it's terrible, so I'll give it a C tier.
Yeah, this stage is honestly just plain and forgettable. I mean, it does have a slug, which is kind of interesting, I guess, but we're not Pikmin fans, so if we were, then we probably would have liked this stage more, but since we're more Mario guys or Pokemon guys, depending on who we are,
with a little bit of extra in between.
Yeah, it's really not really that interesting. I mean, it does have a down slope, but it's kind of too small. And you can also abuse that blast zone on the left side, which can get annoying. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I say this is even more boring than the Super Mario Brothers one that we talked about earlier. At least that stage has that thing happened to me, so that was more interesting than this stage. Just has me nothing to say about it at all because there's nothing interesting about it. So bottom C tier. Easily.
Yeah, this stage is kind of just boring, honestly. It's way too small. There's only this little slope and then a tiny leaf you can stand on. And half the time that slope is covered in rain, so you can't even stand on it. And then, yeah, the bulb orb can appear and give you a little more space, but he can eat you if you're not careful. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a bad stage, honestly, so I think D is fair.
Bottom of C average it is then. Alright, now we have Smashville, which is the next closest thing to Battlefield without actually being Battlefield that we've gotten so far. And frankly speaking, having played from experience, I kind of like this stage less than Battlefield and its clones, for the sole purpose that the stage itself feels smaller than the Battlefield stages. Now, maybe that's just me and I'm a little bit crazy about that, but it just feels smaller to me, and like the platform that I believe moves at the top is not really like helping it that much either. I guess if you want to argue the Animal Crossing aesthetics is saving it, I don't know. I think I probably would have liked it more if it had like the color scheme, the background color scheme of Town and City from Smash 4, as opposed to like having like the tan dirt. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier below Super Happy Tree. I don't have anything else to say otherwise. It's just Smashville, just a simple fighting arena that's kind of to me.
I mean, I think this stage is okay. I mean, yeah, I guess as Alex did say, it is a kind of simple stage. I don't think there's really much of a gimmick to it other than just Animal Crossing themed. I'll give it a bottom of B tier since it's not terrible. It's not bad, it's just kind of simple.
Welcome to Smashville, Tennessee. Sorry, I just had to say that. Anyway, yeah, this stage is honestly not that memorable. I mean, it does have a couple of visual things that I like some of the water that's in it, and some grass and trees and buildings in the background. But other than that, it's just a simple stage. It's kind of like Alex says, it's kind of like another Battlefield stage. But I don't know if I'd rather play Smashville or Battlefield. So, anyway, not much to say, just mediocre at best. Middle of C tier.
I don't remember. Can you jump through the stage from underneath?
I'm 1000% sure the answer is no.
Okay. It's just a Battlefield clone with different visuals. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just an okay stage. I think like middle or bottom of B is fine.
I guess I'll keep it above Battlefield to average. Now we arrive at another infamous stage in the series. This is New Pork City, and honestly, having like thought about it a little bit more, I was originally gonna put this like somewhere in C tier, but honestly, of all the big stages, this one is nowhere near as crappy as some of the ones that I truly despise. So much so that like I unironically am going to put it at the bottom of B tier. It's big enough with not as many like closed-in walls that it could prove like decent to fight on. Like similar vein to Temple, except the layout is like a lot more open, but there's also like a platform that you can break open to make a gap. And also the ultimate Chimera can show up, which if you are right next to that thing when it's ready to bite you, you're dead in a matter of seconds. Like, that thing is one of the most infamous one-hit KOs in Smash Bros. And it's really, really funny sometimes. And honestly, he's not that much of a hindrance to the fight sometimes, because he only like, I feel like he shows up like once every minute or something like that. And even then, sometimes he'll be like completely out of the way from where the fighters will be, well, fighting. I think visually it's definitely impressive, the background, having like pretty much a majority / the entirety of New Pork City like visible, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I think it's just funny that they condensed it down to like only like a handful of like visible planes, layers, I mean. And also, I don't know how tall the actual like New Pork City skyscraper, whatever the term for that is. I don't know how tall that thing goes, but I'm pretty sure it goes like far above the actual skybox or something in the original game. Brawl, I mean, not Mother 3. I don't have anything else to say otherwise. So, yeah, bottom of B for me. Hot take.
Honestly, I'd say the stage is okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I mean, I do like how it looks. But yeah, admittedly, a lot of its sections aren't really easy to fight on. Like, arguably, especially like that, I mean, especially that bottom part where like it's flat from mostly, but like it can break. I don't know. I mean, I do like how that. I forget what those things are called. That pink dude with the rubber duck on his head, like that thing. Like I feel like it's a nice hindrance, but then again, it doesn't really add much. Since it's pretty easy to avoid. I mean, again, I might have a soft spot for this stage because I know some of it was used in Brawl, I mean, specifically the statue specifically, but other than that, I guess not really much of an opinion. So I'll give it I guess another C tier. Not terrible, but not really one I'd fight on often.
I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, I think this stage is bad because, you know, it's way too big, and it's really meant for 8 players, and it's also not very easy to find on, like Jordan said. But at the same time, it also has some funny moments in it, especially when that character that literally eats you in one bite, even if you're at 0 health, you'll die instantly no matter what happens. And I also have some great memory moments with this stage a lot. Like, I remember playing one time with my little cousins up in Oregon, and like literally fought for almost like 10 minutes until we got a winner of this stage because it takes a long time, and there's 4 of us. That's like the same amount of people that we use in the feed footage as you're seeing right now. So how am I going to give it as for the grade or rating? Well, it's kind of hard for me to say because on one hand, I want to put it in B tier because of the funny moments that it is, but at the same time, I also want to put it in C tier because, you know, it's an alright stage, and at the same time, I also want to put it in D tier because, you know, it's too big. It's a very tough call, but I think as for now, I'm going to put it in high C tier. Even though it is like too big to fight on and it, you know, not good, it's also like bad it's good stage. So that's all I really have to say about it.
Normally I'm not the biggest fan of these big stages, but I actually really like this stage. I know everyone kind of hates it because of like, yeah, the Ultimate Chimera, and it's just the layout kind of sucks, but I actually kind of like the layout. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say. Oh, it's also just a really good looking stage. I really like the city. Plus the like main song that goes along with it is really good. Yeah, that one, yeah. I feel like A tier is actually good for this one.
That's surprising.
Honestly, I think it's surprising that like we had more positive than negatives to say for the most part. So, I think I'll average it in the B tier. I'll put it above Green Greens.
It's also funny because when we were recording the B footage, we were crapping on the stage so hard.
Yeah, no, we were crapping the hell out of Newport City in the B-roll footage.
We all say we're going to put it in F tier, but we're like, actually, it's not as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't like it, but I've always liked this stage.
Yeah. I like, honestly, like what Michael said about it's so bad it's good. Like, I think that the perfect way to sum it up, really. And speaking of summing it up, this is Summit, and I know that was a very bad pun because I accidentally said that somehow. Summit is, by all accounts, a very pretty stage. Like, I like that the starting area that we have starts off with, like, well, its namesake Summit, and also the fact that it has Northern Lights in the background, which, especially in this game, look really, really nice. But the main thing about this stage is that the stage can like get separated from the top of the mountain, go sliding down a hill and down into an icy lake, where a giant fish from Balloon Fighter, not Ice Climber, can show up to snack on you. And honestly, this is probably yet another one that's like forgettable, with also like an added, whatever the opposite meaning of benefit would be, in the form of the ice physics, because ice physics more often than not can be annoying, and to my recollection, I don't think they were like too terrible towards me when we played this stage, but I can imagine like a scenario where like I'm like probably just like goofing off and like I'm unintentionally letting the ice physics get to me, And plus, the actual stage layout is like very much on the annoying side because there's it's I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of just weird. Like I don't really like. I feel like this stage represents ice climbers a lot less so than Icicle Mountain from Melee, which is one where you're like kind of like constantly jumping up to raise the stage because it's randomly generated. Like that is more akin to the ice climbers gameplay, whereas here, it's literally just an ice summit. It very, very barely resembles like the actual top of the summit part of the ice climber stages from the original game. So I think I'm gonna put it somewhere in the. It's definitely gonna be somewhere in C, but its exact placement is not really gonna be like pinpointed down for me. So I'm just gonna keep it at or put it at middle of C tier and move on with my life.
On one hand, I do like its concept. Like, I do like how the stage can go like from the top to sliding into a water, and I do kind of find it funny how its gimmick, its stage hazard is that the fish will come out the water and swallow you. I do feel like it is kind of funny, but otherwise, I feel like its layout sometimes can be a bit bulky, mainly because like if you're on the bottom, not only you got to worry about the ice slippery, but also the like with most of the stuff like on top that you can't fight through, so you gotta kind of like gotta be sure you're on top to be able to. Again, it's another one of those stages where it's like, it's one of those stages where it's like kind of triangular shaped in a way, or like there's like a pillar in the middle that makes it difficult to like fight on properly. So I guess I'll give it another C tier. I know I'm giving a lot of C tiers, but generally I just don't really know how else I can rank this stage other than, I mean, cool ideas, just again could be a little better.
I don't like the stage. I really don't. There are a few reasons why I don't like this stage. One of my main problems with this stage is that it's ice physics, and if you know me, then you'll know that I'm not a fan of slippery controls. I mean, I will admit it's nowhere near as bad as other games I've played on in my life, but I'm still like not really a fan of it either. And you can also easily slide into the lake because you can also go down for a little bit, which is also very annoying because you can easily die from it if you're not careful. And the stage, at least to me, feels way too small. So I would put this stage in F tier, but I will admit the visuals on this is actually beautiful, like Alex said. So with that being said, instead of putting it in F tier, I'm going to put it in D tier. I'm just not a fan of this stage, like at all.
Yeah, the stage is honestly might be the most forgettable stage in Smash. Like, I always kind of forget this thing exists. Probably because it's just...
No.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's kind of one of the worst to play on. Yeah, the idea of it, like, sliding down is cool, but I just feel like the stage layout itself sucks. So I think, like, bottom of D is fitting.
You know what? I think to average out, I'll put it at the top of D. Alright. Now we have Sky World. The stage itself is kind of meh. But meh with the side of annoyance because the main thing about the stage is that it's clouds with a bunch of solid platforms that are above it. And those solid platforms can be broken away so that the stage is literally just left to clouds, but also those platforms can reform on top of the clouds again after a short amount of time. And frankly speaking, I think those platforms are annoying as hell, like when they're covering the clouds, because the amount of times that you can accidentally jump into the platforms not realizing that it's not semi-solid. Even when we were doing the B-roll footage, like even despite knowing how the stupid things work, like there's still a hindrance, and especially because if you're playing as a character with a recovery that's like very specifically angled and not like able to like go straight up, I guess, to grab the ledge of the platform, it can be especially annoying. So. And also on top of that, the stage is super small. It's probably one of the smallest stages in the game, or in Smash history, I guess. Probably on the same level of smallness as Summit, but honestly, I don't know. With all the stuff that's going on in Summit, if it feels a tiny bit bigger than Skyworld, which is stationary the whole time, aside from this platform's breaking. I don't know. I think I had to give it lower C tier. I can't bring myself to really enjoy the stage that much.
Okay, on one hand, I do honestly really like the look of the stage since, okay, although I never played Kid Icarus, it definitely has some of my favorite visuals that I've seen in, honestly, any kind of franchise, any video game franchise. And again, I am genuinely very interested in playing the game myself, but in terms of the stage, okay, like, it's, again, I like how it looks, but just sometimes its gimmicks are kind of an issue. Like, one, I feel like the platforms being able to break and leave just clouds can mess you up, especially if you're trying to get back on after falling off. You might not be able to grab a ledge, so it can be pretty not easy to get back on. I mean, at the same time, it can be funny. It is funny, like, if you do want someone to just see them bouncing all over the place, and sometimes even breaking all the pillars, but again, I guess that can kind of mess you up when you're trying to launch someone. So I think, again, I do like the look of the stage. I really do think it's pretty, but just other than that, I feel like could have been a bit better. So honestly, I'll give it bottom of B tier, but just barely.
I actually like this. It's, yeah, admittedly it is kind of small, and it probably would be a lot better if it was 2 fighters instead of 4. But I don't know. I always like this stage a lot. The clouds can be a bit annoying, but at least you don't fall through them, so that's a plus for that. The platforms do break a lot, but they regenerate usually pretty quickly. I don't have really much to say about it. I like the visuals. I think it's fun to fight on, even though, like I said, it's probably a lot better for 2 players than 4 players, but even still, I actually don't mind it that much. It may not be the best stage in history. I think it's a solid stage, so I'm going to put it in B tier.
Yeah, I feel like the stage is just Summit, but better. Yeah, the clouds can be annoying, but I feel like they're more fun than anything, honestly. It's a cool looking stage. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. It's definitely more of a 2-person stage, though, yeah. I think C is fine.
Put it at top of C to average it, I guess. Alright. Now we move on to Snake Stage of Shadow Moses Island. I have very little to say about this stage. Except, well, there's a couple of things that I do like to point out. The walls on the left and right side can be broken, kind of in a similar vein to some later stages we'll see in future ranking videos. There's also I think if you break those walls, there's a thing in the background that can show up to trigger a Metal Gear funny thing with the iconic sound when it detects someone, but I don't think that actually hinders the fight at all. Like, I think it's just there for showing and that's it. But also the last thing, which is probably like the reason why like people remember the stage the most. Snake, if you're playing a Snake, you can activate some codec calls with some of Snake's allies, specifically to discuss the opponent that you're fighting. However, it's a little bit more notable in Ultimate, for the sole purpose of the codecs are literally the exact same ones from Brawl. Not even like re-recorded, not even like made new ones to accommodate for other characters. And in some cases, like some details are inaccurate. Like for one of the codecs, I believe per Sonic or something, they talk about how like something here in Brawl, but it's like, yeah, this is definitely Super Smash Bros. Brawl, not a game that's 3 games later in the series. And then there's like stuff like Zelda or something like that, how they're talking about the character, even though it's like a completely different version of the character, stuff like that. So, honestly, like, again, I think this is probably like a stage where I don't have that much to say on it, so I'll put it somewhere in a higher C tier for the sole purpose that it's a like a little bit more iconic.
Hear me out with this one, but I actually put this in S. Okay, like yes, I know the stage is kind of basic, and I feel like yes, again the walls can get in the way, but purely but just the pure thing about just having like the snake protocols as like an Easter egg, like honestly that alone already gives it its high tier for me. Like I really love that concept, and I like how they even carried it forth in another stage that I'll discuss later. But okay, actually maybe not S, or at least like bottom of S, I'd say, because like yeah, the stage itself is kind of not the greatest, but I don't know. I really like the concept, and honestly, I'm not really gonna complain that they reused the same one for Brawl because, well, one, I mean, it is smart to reuse things if you can. Although, frankly, I guess they should have at least got rid of at least some lines just so it didn't get confused with Brawl. But then again, it is kind of funny to have it like that. And yes, I do wish they did include some for the new fighters, but I understand why they couldn't, since, well, they likely couldn't get the actors back, or they couldn't just get these re-recorded for any reason. I mean, yeah, again, I know the stage is basic, but other than that, I just really love that, like, concept of an Easter egg, putting that there. So, again, I'd say bottom of S for me.
I know there are a lot of people who actually really, really like the stage because of Snake and all that stuff. But after playing the stage a few times, I'm like, really, guys? You actually like this stage? This stage is one of the most forgettable stages of all time. Like, seriously, there is, like, nothing interesting about it at all. The walls, yes, are a bit annoying, but there's also a up and down, and there's, like, where you go on the downside, where under the platform there, and then above the platform. And that's it. It's just, like, I literally have nothing to say about the stage. It's, like, seriously, one of the most forgettable Smash Bros. Stages of all time. Easy C tier.
I kind of get what Jordan means by S tier, and I want to like this stage. It's just, there's another stage that does this one's gimmick so much better, which we'll talk about later. It's just, I mean, yeah, it looks cool, and I like the different Metal Gears in the back, how it's like, you have the original Metal Gear, and then whatever the other one was. And I like the iconic sound when you get spotted. The codex is cool, I guess, but if you can, good luck figuring out how to do it. I think A is fitting for it.
Actually, can I also give one more note? It's not going to change the ranking. I just wanted to take this note. Is that the extra detail I like about the code calls is that if you actually die while they're going off, they'll even give a reference for when you get a game over in Solid Metal Gear. Like, I also think that's a really cool concept. I especially like how even Flippy does that. Because I forgot to mention, Flippy does also show up if you specifically do the coded call on Falco.
Yeah.
So I do really like that concept, and I especially like the Easter egg. That's the only note I wanted to give.
Alright, well, I'm keeping the average, middle of B. I think the middle B's, wait, 1, 2, 3, yeah, middle B is right here between Port Town and Bridge of Eldon. Alright, next we have Luigi's Mansion. The stage, not the game. Unironically, like, even not even factoring my Mario bias, I think I have to put this in B tier. Well, Mario bias more so for the series, not so much for Luigi's Mansion, the game itself, which I've literally only played twice. And if you guys have seen that second playthrough in the form of that quote-unquote speed run that we did for Halloween, you'll know that second run kind of went to crap, but that's not factoring the stage, like, at all, because, like, I've honestly enjoyed the stage whenever I did play it in Smash 4, because the main thing about this stage is that it's a much, much smaller, condensed version of the mansion itself, with a couple of rooms represented in here. But I think it's, like, the gimmick of being able to just, like smash the pillars that are holding up the mansion itself is just really, really funny. And I like that after some time, the mansion itself does reform itself. I also like that, like, when you, like, if you ever take the fight to the roof of the mansion or just to the outside, left and right sides of the mansion, that the actual front-facing exterior wall of the mansion actually fades in, which is cool. I think it's just, like, hysterical that like the actual like mansion is being held up by like a giant beanstalk or something that's holding up a platform with the mansion, as opposed to the actual like area where the mansion would normally be. And also, I think it's a nice aesthetic that the moon is directly behind the mansion, and also it's at an angle where the moon is freaking massive, which definitely makes it more interesting. And also, ironically enough, kind of on the similar scale to one of the mansions from Dark Moon. I can't remember which one it is where the moon is like behind the mansion and giant, but that's besides the point. I don't know if there's like anything that could like really make it like better or worse than what I personally think of it, so I personally put it at the top of B.
I'd say I like this stage, although not by like high standards. I say. I mean, I do. Okay, its gimmick is simple, but it is kind of satisfying at the same time. Yeah, I'm gonna say, although I am a fan of the Luigi's Mansion series, I'm not really too strong in this one since it's based off a mansion from a game that I haven't played, believe it or not. But I don't know. I guess I'll give it a B tier. Not an A tier since it is still a pretty simple stage. But I do like its gimmick enough for it to be seen as, well, I'd say decently fun.
This is probably my favorite stage in Brawl, in my opinion. Yes, I always had bias for the first Luigi's Mansion game, and maybe I'm being a little too generous on it, but I don't know. I just really love Luigi's Mansion, like in general. It's always been one of my favorite games to like speedrun and all that stuff. And I even like the Smash stage a lot. I first played it in Brawl years ago with Alex and Jordan. That video that was sadly scrapped because I was horribly sick and I lost the footage about when we played Smash Brawl originally. The stage is very interesting. You can go from the bottom side to the top side. And unlike the previous stage we just talked about, this stage actually is more interesting and actually meant for 4 players instead of 2 players. So always been one of my favorites and probably always will be in Brawl. I'm gonna put it easy S tier.
Yeah, this stage is really cool. I like the layout of this stage is actually good. I mean, it's just 3 platforms, but I mean, like Michael, I really like the first Luigi's Mansion. I don't know, it's just a cool stage. I like how it looks. I think A tier is good.
I'll group it with Temple and Fountain of Dreams near the top of it. Then. Next, we move on to Toon Link's native Brawl stage. This is Pirate Ship. This is another one where I don't have a lot to say about it, but it's more so because I literally have like no recollection, I guess, for lack of a better term, to like connect back to this stage. I have seen very, very little of the Wind Waker. And even despite the fact that I have access to that now in the form of the GameCube Online thingamajig on the Switch, too, like, I'm not sure if I would want to go out of my way to play Wind Waker. No offense to anyone that likes the Wind Waker. It's just, I'm not the biggest fan of Zelda, even though I know, like, a decent amount of knowledge about that, the most of all the games I don't play. I do like the stage a little bit, I guess. I think it's another one I put bottom of B. I like that the ship can crash into a rock and you can fight there a little bit. Although correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that rock is a walk-off. So you'd have to be careful about that. I like that it can undergo a storm, which I'm guessing is a plot point in the Wind Waker. And I don't remember if it's part of the storm or not, but I believe the ship can be lifted out of the sea and thrown up into the sky above the clouds to show a rainbow, which I think is cool. And also,
didn't that happen during our recording?
I'm pretty sure that was the first thing that happened during our recording, actually. And I also like that the Red Lion ship. I'm brain farting on the name because I was almost about to call it the Red Sea Lion or something like that. But I'm like, I know that's not the right name.
King of Red Lions.
King of Red Lions. That's the Because I was also thinking of saying Sea of Red. Whatever. The King of Red Lions can show up in the backside of the ship, which is cool. So yeah, that's all the positives I can really bring myself to put for this stage. The only negative I can really have for this stage is that if you go in front if you go down to the water directly in front of the ship and you come into contact with the hull of the ship, you're pretty much getting meteor smashed into hell. That's an instant KO, I believe, which it's not so much like a con against the stage because it's just really, really funny, but if you're playing on the stage and you're not paying attention, it is something to keep in mind. Something I recently learned, because I did have like knowledge of their existence, is that the Omega and by extension Battlefield version of the stage actually more so specifically is meant to be the like towers in the sea that you can visit or something like that, which is a pretty interesting way to go about that. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say otherwise. Just bottom of B for me.
I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of the stage. Like, yeah, I do think it looks nice, just I don't really like how I think how so many things get in the way. Like one, what is it? That little like catapult thing could come out of nowhere. I mean, even though it's not too big of a hindrance, it still can be a hindrance. Although I think my bigger complaint would be the friggin' watchtower that could just start shooting you. Like, I feel like that could definitely get annoying.
Honestly, Jordan, thank you for bringing up some of the stuff that I like completely forgot about, because like I think like me forgetting about them was like enough to like have me rank it as high as I did, I guess. But anyway, continue.
I think also the smaller ship that could come out is just fine. I mean, I do of course always just go to running just because, like, I don't know. I guess not really I'll give it a C tier again, and I'll give you a lot of C tiers. Just I don't know, not very strong in this one.
I actually don't like the stage. Maybe it's because I've always been a fan of pirates in general, but even though the pirate ship is kind of small, and maybe it's actually meant for 2 players, but like with the Cloud one, I actually don't really mind it that much. There are a few things that can be annoying. The water thing again, if you get stuck in it. If you're not paying attention, then you're screwed and you will drown. I don't know if Alex said this or not, but he probably did, but I'm just going to say it anyway. When we record the B footage, usually there's a rock, and when I recorded in the Brawl section, because we also got the stage in that video, it appeared like every 2 minutes. But when we did the B footage here, it didn't show up until like the very end of the fight, or at least close to it. So I thought it was every few minutes, but apparently nope, it is. It's just completely random.
Yeah, maybe they like changed up the RNG between the Brawl and Ultimate, and it was a thought that like I completely forgot to mention, but I want to bring myself to say that Pirate Ship also shows up in Smash 4 as DLC.
Does it? I don't remember that. I could just be wrong though.
I'm trying to bring myself to like remember if it was, because I feel like I like remember that from somewhere.
Anyway, I actually really like the stage. I think I'll put it in low A tier, but it is pretty close to being B tier. But I just have bias for pirates, so that's why I ranked it so high.
Pirate Ship, it's kind of forgettable for me, but I quite like this stage. I do like all the different changes it goes through. Those are pretty cool. I don't know, I just like this stage. I mean, it's the one, I know I keep barely saying anything, but I mean, I don't really have much to say going last.
Stuff that hasn't been said by the rest of us, you mean?
I don't know, it's just a good stage. B.
I think I'll just keep it, I'll put it up a little bit higher in B, I guess, so beneath Corneria, I suppose. Alright. Now we come across Spear Pillar, which I can't bring myself to like put it anywhere high by any stretch of the imagination, because once again, this is another stage that is like very much forgettable. So much so that I'm gonna put it below Frigate Orphean in C tier, because the stage layout is kind of annoying, especially when people like to camp out in the cave below, which I know a certain someone here in the call likes to do that a lot. And also some of the more powerful Pokemon that I assume are from
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, Diamond Pearl. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was Diamond Pearl. I was gonna say that, but I missed. But the powerful Pokemon from Diamond Pearl that can either like show up at Spirit Pillar in the original game or not, can show up here in the stage and bring some sort of stage hazard in the form of like an effect, which includes but is not limited to the screen flipping, the screen getting completely mirrored, gravity getting lighter, and various other like magical attacks in some form or another that can hinder the stage, breaking it apart a little bit as well. And honestly, some of those effects are like one of my like bigger pet peeves when it comes to like status effects, for lack of a better term. So yes, I know that like people with a huge Pokemon bias, not naming names, can and are totally allowed to put this in S tier, but I can't bring myself to understand how you do that, especially with the aforementioned stage hazards that come to play when the Pokemon show up. So I'm personally putting it at middle C. It's just forgettable with some annoying stage hazards.
Okay, first of all, calling me out was a bit insulting, but second of all, honestly, okay, fine, Mr. Mind Reader, I actually do give this an S tier. Okay, because one, nothing to do with my Pokemon bias, for the record. Second of all, I just like the layout. Like, I mean, okay, of course I do like the music that comes with it, so as well, Spirit Pillar is a stage, is a theme that I do definitely like. Especially since I do also feel like Spirit Pillar was also a good stage to pick from Diamond Pearl, since it is pretty iconic. And honestly, I feel like the stage hazards of Dialga, Palkia, and Cresselia showing up don't really hinder the fight that much. I mean, yeah, the beams can be annoying in some cases, and also Palkia like messing with like the camera by like reverting or flipping upside down or changing the gravity. But honestly, they don't really last long enough to make them a problem. Like literally, I remember like when we were testing it, it only lasted for like 3 seconds, which is nothing compared to his actual assist trophy. So honestly, okay, like yes, I do also like. Actually, I guess nothing else to say. Like overall, I like its stage, I like its music, I like how it looks, and overall, again, one of the only an upside I could definitely give to Diamond Pearl itself, S tier for me.
Okay, like with the snake stage that we talked about a little bit, I know plenty of people, including Jordan and maybe Prism, but we'll see what he says about the stage, really like the stage. And once again, I have to say, really guys? Because this stage is also extremely forgettable. I will admit I do prefer this stage over the snake stage because it's a little bit more fun than the snake stage. At least there's some platforms and that actually you can grab on instead of like the walls being very annoying. But yeah, I don't have much to say about this stage either. It's just kind of mediocre. I mean, if you're a Pokemon fan, then I can see why you like the stage. But for me, I don't really care for the stage at all. C tier.
Yeah, I'm with Jordan on this one. It's S tier. Honestly, yeah, it looks cool. I like the references. Although, honestly, I feel like I'm pretty much the only one who actually likes all the stage hazards that happen, like the flipping and mirroring. Because if you know how to play while flipped and mirrored, you can actually have an advantage. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm the only one in the world who actually likes the flipping. So I do agree with S tier.
Alright, well...
Yeah, honestly, I
sorry.
guess also one more note I could give. Yeah, honestly, I feel like the inverted stuff isn't that hard because, I mean, I played the game reverse before. I've played inverted games before, so it ain't something that's about it. So, anybody says it, skill issue.
Yeah, I admit that I do have a skill issue. That doesn't make it any less annoying. Because, like, you have to remember, Jordan, like, I technically have a major advantage over all 3 of you idiots for that reason, because I can flip my Switch because I never play with you guys in the loft or wherever where the TV is. I can literally flip the Switch and you guys cannot. But the thing is, I have my pride in that I'm never doing that. So, like that still doesn't make it any less annoying because, like, especially because, like, people that have mastered that sort of crap can, like, use that to their advantage and abuse the situation. And especially because again, like I said earlier, people that like to hide in the caves and run away, like that's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially when it's like that person that was hiding in the cave originally, like ends up winning the fight through some random bull crap. Like, I'm a guy that usually, in most situations, tends to prefer a fair fight. And on Spirit Pillar, I feel like I never get a fair fight ever. So I guess I'm satisfied with Spirit Pillar's average ranking of higher B, I guess. Now we move on to a stage that is, by all accounts, objectively worse than Spirit Pillar. This is 75M. I think this is the worst stage in Smash Bros. History. Why in the mother of F word would they port 75M into Smash Brothers? Whoever thought it'd be a fun idea to bring the stage into Smash Bros. Must have not playtested the stage to see how much fun it would be, because I don't know, man. Yes, 75M does come from a somewhat iconic game, that's Donkey Kong, but everybody and their mother knows that 25M is miles more iconic. I would have rather 25M than this stupid stage, because this stage does in fact come with the stupid springs that can show up when summoned by DK, and even in the B-roll footage, those were being an absolute hindrance to Michael during the recording. I don't know if the stage itself got buffed or nerfed in the jump between games, because I believe originally in Brawl and maybe also Smash 4 that the platforms that are on the sides or closest to the edges of the screen were walk-offs originally, which that wasn't a thing in 75M's original version from the original game. But that would have made the stage significantly worse by all accounts, so I'm glad they fixed that. But even then, it's still not very fun to play on, and it doesn't help that many people, including some of us here, have been absolutely scarred by the Pauline spirit in Smash Ultimate because of just how difficult that spirit is. I also think it's utterly stupid that when DK does pop in from the background, that he can absolutely smack you. I don't know. Anybody that even remotely enjoys the stage, holy crap, you have so much power to you, but you are still an insane person. More specifically, enjoy the stage to put it anywhere in B or higher. I don't see any sane person even remotely doing that. So this is easily one of the worst stages in Smash history. So I'm hoping it stays in the bottom of F.
Honestly, it's definitely a letdown, because I'm look, I understand I feel like Donkey Kong, yes, the original arcade Donkey Kong definitely should have gotten representation, since, well, it is a very iconic classic one. But of all the stages, why did you pick this one? You would think when porting the arcade Donkey Kong into Smash Bros, you would think they would pick the first stage, the most iconic one. It's a bummer, because I feel like Donkey Kong would have worked as a stage if they had just known which one to pick. I don't know why they picked this one, because it's not even that well known, I don't think. Because if they wanted to just make a stage that's purely just impossible to play, well, they definitely succeed. Because, well, okay, in terms of the Pauline spirit, I guess that is another kind of annoying thing, but I'm not going to really take that into account, because it's mainly wrecking the stage itself. I don't get how they were able to test this stage and say, yeah, this is going to be perfect to play on. So, yeah, honestly, yeah, that's here. Don't really not a good spot for this.
Okay, this is easily the worst stage I have ever played in Smash Bros. History. There is so many things wrong with the stage. The stage itself, is actually a decent size to fight on. But the main problem is the platforms are way too small to fight on. It's not even funny. I have complained a couple of times that some of the stages are too small to fight on, especially the two fire ones that I always complained about. But honestly, compared to those two, at least those are easily better for fighting than this stage is. I mean, I guess the only way you can like properly fight on is at the very top with the DK stuff. But even still, you can have those stupid annoying springs that can happen, and if you have a high enough damage, you can easily die easily and lose all your stocks. And guess what? Like Alex said in the beat footage, that happened to me 3 times. Easily one of the worst stage of all time. Hate it with a burning passion. Worst stage of all time. F tier. Easy.
Yeah, this stage just straight up sucks. Yeah, like you guys said, why not do 25M instead of 75M? I'm pretty sure no one remembers this stage from Donkey Kong. And even if they did, like, its layout is just awful. Like, even 25M, its layout would be so much better for fighting. Like, why? Whoever made this decision should be fired, honestly. Bottom of F, easily.
Alright, we have a unanimous decision. And you know what? It also just occurred to me, like, another reason why, like, I hate this stage. It's specifically the fact that it's called 75M, when, in my recollection, when I was growing up, I indirectly thought of it as 50M, because when I was growing up, we had the NES version of Donkey Kong on our Wii's Virtual Console, which the NES version of Donkey Kong completely omits the actual 50M stage. The one with, like, the conveyor belts and the moving ladders. Which, honestly, I don't even know if that stage would have been better or worse to include over 75M, but, like, that's also, like a complete scar on my brain that, like the revelation that, oh my god, this is, like, actually meant to be the 3rd stage and not the 2nd stage. So, yeah, that's just adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, if I'll be honest, they should make a G tier just so we can put it in there.
I literally unironically could do that, like, but I think I'm gonna hold myself against doing that for the sake of this tier list, especially so that I don't like just wasting space just to throw this god awful stage in its own tier. Anyway, we only have 3 stages left, so now let's move on to Mario Bros. This is literally the stage from the classic arcade game made a stage into Brawl. Now, the difference is, unlike 75M, I think there's enough fun here to go around. Call me hypocritical because of the amount of crap talk I said about Norfair earlier, but, like, the chaos that ensues on Mario Bros. Is way, way more up my alley compared to the freaking lava that I hate so much. Because the thing is, well, it's meant to replicate the actual Mario Bros. Game, wherein random enemies can show up out of the pipe, and if you attack those enemies and throw them at other players, the knockback that the player gets is absolutely, like, it's a lot of knockback, to the best way I could describe it in a few words. Especially because, like, I think after, like, 3 hits, if the person that gets knocked doesn't tech in time to, like, save themselves from getting launched to death, well, that's it. They're getting launched to death. And, again, call me hypocritical, but, like, I think that's where my fun factor tends to lead towards in terms of, like, chaotic gameplay. Now, maybe it's because I'm biased for Mario Bros. More so than Metroid's Norfair stuff. But, I don't know, I always just, like, whenever I play on the stage, I usually tend to, like, end the fight with a smile, whether or not on whichever placement I was knocked out. So, obviously it's far from the best stage, like, miles away from being the best stage. But as is, I think I would have to put it somewhere in B tier. I would not be surprised if it gets ranked lower, if these guys have some smack talk to say about it. But, I don't know, I guess I just, like, hold it in a higher regard. And for the 3rd time, call me hypocritical, but that's just the way I stand about it on Mario Bros. So, yeah, middle of B.
Okay, when you said about slander, I think you were talking about me, because honestly, I don't like this stage as much as people do. Like, I mean, I can see where the chaotic fun comes with it, but at the same time, I feel like its stage hazard is way too big of a freaking hazard. Like, okay, like one, like the creatures come out way too often. I mean, I guess I'm not gonna criticize them too much, but what I will criticize them on is that they do way too much damage. Like, literally, I just don't. What I don't like about this one is that, like, I'm pretty sure I noticed, like, every time we do this one, I see most of the others defaulting to just going for the Koopas and crabs and then just throwing them. Like, I get that's the whole point of it, but just like a stage that you're purely gonna rely on the stage hazard itself isn't really something I want to be seeing in a Smash Bros. Stage. So honestly, I'm probably gonna give it a D tier. Like just purely because I don't really like how much you will tend to rely on just using the stage hazards rather than actually, like, I don't know, I just don't really like its concept, especially since, again, they do way too much damage, and it's so easy to die on this one.
Well, funny, because that's exactly how I feel about Norfair's Lava.
Okay, as much as I give this stage an F tier because, you know, it's kind of has similar problems, but of course, differences as well, I can't give it an F tier. In fact, I'm not even going to give it a D tier or a C tier. I'm going to give it a B tier, and I have reasons why I'm doing this. Like Alex said, this stage is meant for chaos and throwing enemies at each other that does a lot of damage and stuff. And I think that's the point of the stage, like Alex said. It's just literally chaotic, and it was literally meant for that, and just throw enemies around over and over again. It's kind of like similar I said about the other stage that we talked about earlier, the New Dock City or whatever it's called.
New Pork City.
Yeah, thank you. It's so bad, it's good. Like, I just can't really hate on the stage, even though I want to hate on it. But hey, at least it has reference to the first arcade Mario Bros. Game, or I guess technically second if you include Donkey Kong. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this stage, especially when we did the B footage. It was actually a lot enjoyable than I remember. Because I remember hating this stage a long time ago, but now I don't anymore. Well, I mean, I still crap on it, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, B tier.
I want to say it's good. I like it, but just I don't know. I always have problems with throwing items, so I don't know. I'm gonna just put it in B because I can see why you guys like it. It's just personally not my cup of tea.
Alright, so I guess the average will be, like, in the lower B, which, frankly speaking, I think that's probably what I've, like... I think, like, with what we've got, that's probably the best case scenario for that stage. Anyway, now we move on to yet another infamous stage. This is Hannonbow. For as crappy as this stage is, I can't bring myself to, like, truly hate it. Like, I don't really know, like, what the point of, like, fighting on the stage is. Like the actual stage itself is, well, it's basically like a music maker. Like, you're basically making music as you fight. But the actual stage itself is, like, terrible to fight on. I honestly don't really have, like, that much to say about it because I've very rarely played it. Because, well, it's... Before Ultimate, it was exclusive to Brawl. But also, like, Hannonbow... Well, not Hannonbow. Electroplankton, or... Yeah, Electroplankton, I believe, is the name of the series. Is, like, far from a series of games that I've, like, ever dabbled with. Ever. So, like, I had no personal memories with it by any stretch of the imagination. But if it weren't a fighting game, I think the idea, like, certainly would be, like, much higher up than what I would personally rank. But, like, as is, especially with, like, some of the bullcrap that can happen to you, like, falling in between the leaves on the right side because that tree branch is, or that tree itself is not tangible, can be annoying. And also the water is not tangible either, so you can't swim in that, so if you fall in there, you're dead. But I think I would rather play on it than the 3 F-tier stages that we have already. Venom, Brinstar Depths, and 75M. I don't have anything else to say about it otherwise.
Honestly, I don't hate this stage. Okay, like, I can see how some things can be issues, but overall, honestly, I think the stage is kind of overhated. Like, I feel like there's enough platform to fight on, and I feel like the, yeah, I guess sometimes leaves can slope a bit. But then again, it's not all the time that they do that. And again, there is loads of different platforms you can go onto. I mean, I do also like how this one doesn't really have music and instead relies on the little tadpole things to make music. Like, I feel like that's honestly a really cool concept. But then again, I can't really put it too much higher. I don't know. I just like the stage. I'll give it a B tier. Maybe like, I'd say like middle of B tier.
This is a stage that I want to put in F tier because it's kind of bad and has a lot of issues. But I really can't give it an F tier because, while it is very annoying to fight on and it's just like not that fun overall, it is somewhat passable because at least the leaves don't like fall down when you're fighting. Like, if that was the case, I think this would arguably be even worse than 75 AM. Well, if you have a decent character that can recover, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But if you have like a poor character that can't recover to save his life or her, you're screwed. So if I ever play characters like Martha, I'm screwed. It's just really not that fun to fight on. And like I said, I want to give it an F tier, but instead I'm gonna give it a D tier. And honestly, I'd probably rather fight on this one than I do with Summit. Like, honestly.
Yeah, considering how much hate this stage gets, it's really not that bad. Like, everyone rags on this stage, but I actually kind of like it, honestly. It looks cool. It's actually surprisingly fun to play on, although there can be some shenanigans that happen that make it annoying. Usually I don't like the stages that are just multiple little platforms, but because how close they are in Hand and Bow, I feel like it actually works. I feel like middle of B is actually pretty good for this one.
I suppose higher C is the average. Which, having recollected my thoughts, well, my thoughts stay the same, but I decided that my ranking would be changed to somewhere in D tier. Honestly though, probably like bottom of D tier though, because like I think personally I think I would put him at the bottom of D. Maybe if I wanted to be kind, I would probably put it above Rainbow Cruise at least, but as is where it is now, like, I can understand you guys' reasonings. Anyway, speaking of C tier, and I'm saying that because that's where I would rank the stage. This is Green Hill Zone. Now, for as much as I enjoy Sonic, and Green Hill Zone is arguably iconic and at the same time also overused nowadays, but also a little bit at first. The stage itself, like the actual stage itself, not the background or anything in between. Like, if we had the same stage layout, but with different graphics that make it not look like Green Hill Zone, I would still rank it where I would put it in C tier somewhere. Probably somewhere in the higher. Because the thing about this stage is that it's literally like almost a flat rectangle with a half circle in it. And it's not fully that because the left and right side of the stage are not completely level. So the things about the stage is that, number one, the left and right sides are walk-offs, and again, those are very much annoying, especially when you abuse them. And yes, I'm a guy that likes to abuse blast zones a lot, but like I still like acknowledge that that's like an issue that like unfortunately sometimes cannot be fixed. But the other thing, which can be in some situations be annoying depending on who you're fighting as, you can break apart some parts of the half pipe area of the stage to leave a gap, and you're not breaking the stage areas all at once, because you can't attack, say, like the exact middle of the stage and only that part of the stage is falling down, and then you could attack the two parts of the stage that are surrounding that middle area, and you can make a bigger gap, or you can make two gaps. It's all just a conundrum sometimes. And then sometimes a checkpoint lamppost thingy can show up randomly, and you could smack it to make the thing spin around, which can attack other players, which is very strange because never in Sonic has it been able to do that. I do like that they like went with the actual retro vibe, and the graphics look a lot better than they did in the Brawl version, because the Brawl version was much more washed out, which is kind of the case for a handful of other stages from Brawl. And I also like that Silver, Knuckles, and Tails can just show up to go into loop-de-loops sometimes, individually or all at once. But honestly, that's just a visual thing, and it's not really enough to save the stage for me, so... Again, as much as I am a big fan of Sonic, I couldn't bring myself to put this anywhere higher than C tier.
Honestly, it does pain me to say this, because just like Alex, I am a really big fan of Sonic. Green Hill is kind of a not very decent stage. Like, I mean, okay, one, I'm not going to complain that it's Green Hill since well, you can't really put Sonic in the game and not put his most iconic stage in it. But like, on the other hand, I do feel like, what do I feel like? I mean, just this stage is like, it puts some concepts in it that I just don't really like that much. Like, one, the slope is way super low, which well, if I talk about small slopes hindering, like sending players flying, this is the pinnacle of just preventing players from flying into, well, where you'll want them to fly into the blast zone. But if that wasn't bad enough, just the fact that they made it to where the stage could just fall apart if you hit it too much, to me it's just ridiculous. I don't know, I mean, I guess I could say that I do also wish that they actually made a bit more of an original, like, theme for Green Hill, but then again, I'm not going to complain that's the original, since, well, you can't really represent Sonic if you're not going to represent Green Hill. I mean, I do like how some of the Sonic characters can appear in the background, but not really going to change much in my opinion on this stage, so... yeah, it does pain me to say it, I might have to give it a D tier, since, again, believe me, I love Sonic, but, like, this was definitely not the way to go.
Yeah. Stage is honestly kind of forgettable. It's just, like Jordan said, the slope is way too low, and you know, people may complain that the Yoshi stage in Melee is too low, but honestly, I feel like that one is a little higher than that. In this one is especially feels way too low, especially the ground part, like where it breaks, like it's just like very annoying to fight on or something. I mean, the visuals of Green Hill Zone obviously are cool, even if it's, you know, overused and stuff. And Tails and Knuckles, I believe that's the only two that appear in the background with the loop thing right there.
And
it's also pretty nice as well. So, yeah, I don't have much to really say about the stage. I may not be as a fan of Sonic compared to Alex and Jordan, but I do play Sonic every once in a while. I'll put it in C tier, because I feel like that's probably the best way to describe this stage. It's alright, but it could have been so much better for Sonic.
Yeah, I like... I'm trying to think. This stage is fine, but I want to like it. I'm just not sure. The stage falling apart kind of sucks, but I don't know. It's just, see, I'm mixed on the stage.
So, C tier? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Alright, I guess the average, I'll just keep it, like, in the bottom half of the middle. Which, not the worst note to end on for Brawl stages. It certainly could have been a lot higher if it was, I don't know, a stage that wasn't Green Hill Zone.
Overall, I see it was a pretty solid tier list that we did today. Well, mine is that one stage that Jordan Prism decided to put high rank.
Oh, dude, I agree with you so much.
But besides that, I say it was a pretty solid tier list. Brawl stages has pretty mixed results, especially because, I mean, for me, I have like 12 okay stages and like 11 like I consider good stage from B to S, and I only had 4 bad stages overall in Brawl, so pretty mixed, but not terrible either. I actually would take that. I'm pretty proud of that.
The Brawl stages are mostly good. They're definitely getting better at making them, though, I can tell.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like, yeah, there was definitely some good, some bad. I don't know. I'd say Brawl was definitely a good installment in both stages and I guess everything else, and especially story. But
yeah.
But yeah, overall, I do feel like these stages were good, although definitely some some problem ones.
Yeah. I could definitely, like, see that, like, most of our collective thoughts definitely, like, are probably the most deserving to most of the stages. Like, both good and bad. At the very least, though, like, the one thing that I'm glad that we were able to get out of this is the fact that we finally agreed on an S tier stage. Mostly.
I would have agreed if it wasn't for me being so cursed on that stage.
I mean, we still ranked it on S, but, like, yeah, it just, like,
Yeah.
sucks that, like, you and your crappy luck with this stage. But anyway, that's pretty much a wrap for this video. Oh my god, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that's what happens when this is the game that has the most amount of stages to rank that are in Smash Ultimate. Thankfully, it's going to be a tiny bit less as we progress to Smash 4, both versions of it, which we're doing separately, not all at once. So yeah, stay tuned for next time where we cover all of the stages that were originally exclusive to Smash 3DS, as well as the 4 stages that were in both versions of Smash 4 that aren't DLC. So that'll be in 2 weeks from now. Anyway, thank you guys a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, then consider leaving a like on the video and also subscribing to my channel. You should also check out the stuff my friends make. Sorry, hang on. As I was saying, you should also check out the stuff my friends make. Those being JordanDraws, Michael Game Show, Prism, and YourLocalLogo. I think you'll enjoy the stuff they make, and you might find me in some of that stuff as well. Their links to their channels or socials are in the description. And I think that's all I got, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers!